Om Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Tenopa Tishta Didro Me Bhava Soto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sarva Karma Sutsame Citam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajra Mame Munsa Vajra Bhava Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe. We go to page 26 of the sadhana. I will just guide us through the visualization in a more simplified way, and then after we will go through the prayers, the recitation in Tibetan together. We are seated in a comfortable position, with our back straight but not tense, our shoulders relaxed, our mouth relaxed, our eyes slightly closed looking downwards, and the awareness of our breath. As we inhale and exhale. At our crown appears a lotus flower. Above it, a sun and a moon cushion. Sitting at our crown on the sun and moon cushion is Guru Buddha Aryatara. Guru Buddha, in the appearance as our Guru, seated cross-legged, with the right hand in the mudra of teaching the Dharma, the left hand in the mudra of meditation, dressed with the monastic robes and the yellow hat, Guru Buddha smiles at us. From his body, light of different colors emanates, going to all directions. At the heart of Guru Buddha, there is an 8-petaled lotus with a sun and a moon cushion, above which is Aryatara. Its beautiful female appearance, Aryatara has one face, 2 arms, the right leg slightly stretched, the left leg bent, the right arm in the mudra of supreme generosity, the left in the mudra of the 3 jewels. Aryatara is in the color of green turquoise, has many ornaments in her body, symbolizing the realization of the 6 perfections. She has 5 ornaments in her head, symbolizing the wisdom of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. Aryatara smiles at us. At the crown of Guru Buddha, there is the 6 syllable Om, white in color. At the throat, the red A. At the heart of Guru Buddha, in the heart of Guru Aryatara, is the blue Hum. At the navel, a yellow So. And at the secret chakra, there is a green Ha. Dalu tame chiwara pede de tuche terche gyayun dromadang yerme trinchen tsawe lama ni kudo karma tsempe lanso de chaye cheche dorje pe karadang yempe tribo tanche pe makar Tsimpe chuke niente damage chogo sumso serdo penshetse dorje kiltron vukuru nashu tukara lhabe lhamo markedo chaye chujin yumpe utapal kuncho sumso chage tukaratsim Dharda rinche gengi tsepralo yekan yonkun vukuru vishupe Tukara tamni jangu vaserbar semba sumgi dani chingyurpe Nengar oma honda sohetse nanto yeshe rani riksesel Tuke vege kyamne malupa chendra timpe kundu dani kyo. From the heart of Guru Buddha Aryatara, light emanates in the 10 directions, going to each and every holy being, requesting their blessings and requesting them to come here. As they accept the request, an emanation of every Buddha, Bodhisattva, Daka, the king and protector of the Dharma, comes to this very right place, absorbing at Guru Buddha Aryatara, our crown. It becomes inseparable and of the same nature of all Buddhas. We now make offerings and prostrations, we request the teachings, request Guru Buddha to remain with us and dedicate our merits, purify our negativities and rejoice as we do the 7 limb prayers. After the 7 limb prayers, we make the mandala offering requesting the blessings. Gosung gube gone chatse lo ngosha yidru chopa malubul tome nesa dikdun tamche sha kepa gewa namla cheirang Korwa maton pardo lekshune drola cheki korlo korwa dan dashen genan chancho chemborno sashi peke chushi meto chan rira lingshi nide gembadi sange shinto mikde u Drogu namda shinla che parashu Yedam guru radna mandal kam niryatayami Tukara tinzin sempe takuratu Yige chube ngagi korvar gyu At the heart of Guru Buddha is Aryatara. At the heart of Aryatara, at our crown, is the 6 syllable Tam, green in color. Around the 6 syllable Tam is the mantra, Om Tare Tutare Turesoha, that turns clockwise. As we recite the mantra, we request the blessings of Guru Buddha Aryatara in order for us to develop our qualities, to purify our negativities, to reach enlightenment, so to help every sentient being to do the same. Omo tare tu re soha, Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. 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 We do now the mantra of the Guru, requesting the blessings of Guru Buddha Aryatara as being separable of our Gurus and all masters of the lineage. Locho Sampo Pagyo Trashi Pa Tuche Tempe Trinle Yarngoda Pege Drolo Zampe Zeprache Pande Lame Shabla Solvade Omo A Guru Vajradara Sumati Muni Shasane Kar Uta Vardani Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Oma Guru Vajradara Sumati Muni Shasane Kar Uta Vardani Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Oma Guru Vajra Sumati Muni Shasane Kar Uta Vardani Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Oma Guru Vajradara Sumati Muni Uta Vardani Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Oma A Guru Vajrad Sumati Muni Shasane Kar Uta Vardani Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Oma Guru Vajradara Sumati Muni Shasan Uta Vardani Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum. After having made requests of blessings to Guru Buddha Aryatara, our Guru and Aryatara, his heart, smiles at us. From the crown, throat, heart, navel, and secret chakra of Guru Buddha Aryatara, white, red, blue, yellow, and green light emanates, going forwards and then coming back into our own direction and reabsorbing at our 5 chakras. The light and nectar that absorb into our 5 chakras purifies our negativities, blesses our body, speech, mind, quality, and action, and revitalizes our qualities. After having blessed our 5 chakras, Guru Buddha Aryatara descends from our crown chakra to our heart. He becomes small as a thumb. As the lotus flower with the sun and moon cushion dissolves into the lotus flower with sun and moon cushion that is in our heart, Guru Buddha joyfully sits at our heart. an 8-petaled lotus. As Guru Buddha sits in our heart, our body, speech and mind becomes inseparable of the body, speech and mind of Guru Buddha. We experience an infinite sensation of joy, of infinite space, of love, of wisdom. Alden sawe lama Rinpoche dagi ninkar pede tensho la karin chembo gone jesonte koson toge ngodro sedo so. So, when we talk about Tara Chittamani, there are, generally speaking, many things that we can explain, but there are also some things that we cannot really put into words. Some things that we can try, but or you have the experience or you don't understand it. There are things that they are simply beyond words. And for me, when I talk about Aryatara represents for me, there is one part that we can understand, we can explain and so on, but there is a whole part that is very difficult to put into words. Let's first try to say the parts that we can put into words. So Aryatara, Arya means noble. Normally this name is given to those that have gone out of the cycle of suffering of samsara, which means that have reached enlightenment or have eliminated completely all suffering, so all ignorance. These are called the noble ones, the noble liberator, Aryatara. So the general explanation of Aryatara is that Aryatara was one princess in a time before Buddha Shakyamuni. Actually, Buddha Shakyamuni is said to be the fourth Buddha of this era. When I talk about the era, I understand it as we having this solar system in which we are, this area, this world where we live. And there are said to be hundreds of millions of worlds. And we are one of them, and we have inside this world, there is one era. Within it, there is a moment where it will end, but that doesn't mean there is another worlds where they're in the middle of their eras, and so on. This is not the only part of existence at all. So, even the representation I have in my left of all these Buddhas, they represent the 1,000 Buddhas of this area. Buddha Shakyamuni said that in this area we're going to have 1,000 Buddhas. Buddha Shakyamuni is the fourth one. Era. In this era, we should have 1,000 Buddhas. In that representation, we have in the center Buddha Shakyamuni, that is called the Buddha of the present. Then we have the Buddha of the past, Buddha Shakapa, and then we have on the right side Buddha Maitreya, the Buddha of the future. Okay. Anyhow, in a time before Buddha Shakyamuni, in an era of another Buddha, there was this princess called in Tibetan Yeshe-dawa. Yeshe-dawa is the princess of the moon, or the moon princess. Sorry, the wisdom of the moon. Or the moon wisdom, it depends how we translate it. But Yeshe-dawa was a princess, and she was extremely good and wise. And Yeshe-dawa, she was always helping so many people, so many sentient beings. Actually, she had this commitment. She would not stop for lunch. She would not start eating until she hadn't helped a certain number of sentient beings to get out of their suffering. And she would help many people physically, giving food and all types of helps. But not only that, she would go into deep states of meditation. And within these deep states of meditation, she will go to help sentient beings in a more subtle way to get out of their suffering state. So from that, she was known as the Liberator. the ones that would liberate sentient beings from fear and from suffering. That's where the name Tara comes from. Tara means, in Tibetan we say drolma. Drol means to liberate. Ma means female, so the liberator, the Ma, is the female liberator that liberates from suffering, that liberates from fear. So at the time of Aryatara, when she was the Princess Yeshedawa, came a group of monks of the time, and they went to Aryatara and they said, look, we respect you so much. We really think you are incredible and you help so many sentient beings. We are so grateful to you. So we pray that you may have a very good human rebirth in a male form, so you may reach enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. And she said, I will reach enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, but in a female form. Because what reaches enlightenment is not our physical body, but it's actually our very subtle mind and body that doesn't have a sex, that is not male or female. So every one of us can be reborn as a man or as a woman. And what reaches enlightenment is what continues from life to life. It's not this body. Sure, there are characteristics regarding this body. Man and woman, we have specific characteristics that come from this gross body and influences the gross mind and so on. But it's a completely different thing. So Aryatara made this commitment, and in the same way she made a commitment, she fulfilled it. She reached enlightenment in a female body. So from that, Aryatara until today is known from the point of view of showing to us, the image of Aryatara is at the same time showing to us not only that woman can reach enlightenment, this is a detail. It's showing to us that what is reaching enlightenment is not the body, but actually the essence that is going from life to life. It's showing to us that in Buddhism, for us it makes no difference if you're a man or a woman. All of us can reach enlightenment in the same way. There are differences regarding our body in the sense that man has certain characteristics, woman has certain characteristics regarding the gross body that influences the gross mind. If we use our characteristics in the best way, we have an advantage. If we don't know how to use them correctly, we have one drawback, a disadvantage. Okay, but from regarding the spiritual path, there is no such a thing as being superior or inferior. We all can reach enlightenment in the same way. It's just a matter of using our qualities in the right way. So one way, Tara is representing this determination to enlightenment and representing our own potential to enlightenment. On the other way, if we look from a deeper level, Aryatara, still on a gross level, Aryatara is always representing the equality of man and woman in the spiritual path. And it's also showing us in a deeper level, Tara represents the power of realization. Every Buddha, they are represented in different ways. If we look around, we have so many representations of Buddhas. In many of them, they are very different. Why? Because they represent the main qualities that they were developing as they developed bodhicitta. For example, Avalokiteshvara had a strong determination to free all sentient beings from suffering, mainly through compassion. That's why, after reaching enlightenment, he is remembered by compassion, and he symbolizes the compassion of all Buddhas. Manjushri doesn't have less compassion than Avalokiteshvara, but he's represented by wisdom, because when he reached enlightenment, when he generated bodhicitta, he did it with the intention to help all sentient beings, mostly through wisdom. So he represents the embodiment of wisdom of all Buddhas. Aryatara, she had the determination to help sentient beings by freeing them from their fears. And what we mean by fear, we will look a little bit later. And by the power of realization, by making things possible. Tara has this special aspect of action. So Aryatara is also symbolizing the all-realizing wisdom of all Buddhas. The all-realizing wisdom is the certainty in every action. It's the opposite of doubt, opposite of fear. Okay? So that's why Aryatara is also symbolizing the element wind of all Buddhas in a pure form, which is the part of action, realization, making things happen. So Aryatara also has this special quality of making things happening, of really, when something is stuck, of actually making it to go on, to move. to help us to realize things, from mundane things to the most deep spiritual level. So, one special aspect also of Aryatara is that through all the centuries of Buddhism, it has always been one of the most important practices of meditation in all traditions of Vajrayana Buddhism. In India, in Nepal, in Tibet, in China, in Indonesia, everywhere we go, where Vajrayana Buddhism was and is present, Aryatara has always been a very important practice. And if we look through our lineage, great masters such as Atisha or Nagarjuna, or if we look the first Dalai Lama, Gyalwa Gendun Drupa, and many, many other great masters, they all were great practitioners of Aryatara. It has always been very present in their practices. And in every monastery, in all traditions of Tibetan Buddhism, the practice of Tara is one of the most important ones. Because people have results with it, they have experience with this practice. So it's something that, more than talking, we need to experience, And when we talk about experience, there is one way which is from a feeling, something that we generate in ourselves. I have, for me, very special connection somehow with the practice of Tara. I have a special feeling. It's difficult to put it into words, really. But I had one small experience that for me was touching somehow. And that was showing sometimes in life we can have signs that is showing us that we are going on the positive way, on the right path. And I just wanted to share with you, just to give it as an example. I was reading a book about Aryatara many years ago in India. And the book was called, In Praise of Tara, written by one disciple of Geshe Rabten. Very nice book. And in this book there is a translation of the Tantra of Tara, the original Tantra of Tara taught by Buddha Shakyamuni. So I was reading it in English, and I have some difficulty reading these types of texts in English. I prefer it in Tibetan. So I wanted to get the version in Tibetan. And it was inside the Kangyur, which is the transcripts of all sutras and tantras of Buddha, 108 volumes. So I went around in the monastery looking for the text. There were many places where they had the text, even very near my house, but everywhere they were not very willing to go up, take the stairs, go to pick up the text, open, give me some pages of a whole volume, and then they don't know if I'm going to give back or not, and so on. So they really didn't give much importance to it. So a few months passed. I was trying my best to get this text. I couldn't get it. That was okay. Then one day, I was going to one ceremony, and actually not. I woke up in the morning with the gong playing. And I had this feeling, okay, today I want to go to the puja. It was a period which I was not going every day to the puja. So one day I listened to the gong early morning. And I said, okay, I'm going to the puja today. I had no idea what puja would be. So I woke up, I went there. And when I arrived in the puja was the reading of the Kangyur. But when we do the reading of the Kangyur, how do? They take one volume, like a Tibetan thick volume, and which is not binded. All the pages are not binded. So what they do is take, let's say, 10, 15, 20 pages per person. You make a line, take and start giving the pages until the last one. And then in this way, we all read aloud one book at the same time. So I am reading chapter 1, you're reading chapter 2, the other one is reading chapter 3, whatever, okay? So we all together start reading aloud, and then in 1 hour we can finish few volumes together, okay? But to read the whole Kangyur takes like a week. So what happened is that I was there, and you never know which part of the Kangyur you're going to get, because it depends which day you are, which volume they're going to give to the line where you are, and which part of the volume you get to your hand. You cannot choose any of this, no? So I was there, so they came, and when they brought me, the text came to my hand. I started reading, I turned the first page. When I got to the second, was exactly the text I was looking for. And I was so happy, because I said, wow. And I'm very skeptical, Raman, and I'm not like thinking, oh, very mystical things. I was saying, oh, that's a beautiful sign. No? So then I just started reading, and it was lucky that the time that I had for the puja and the pages I got in my hand were exactly what I needed to finish the text. A little bit fast I read it. I wanted to take it home, but I could not. And so what happened is that this was one of the first signs that, okay, this is the right path to follow. This is the right practice, And sometimes we may get in our life some very short signs, small, big signs that what we're doing is right. And it's somehow important also for us to know how to listen to it, to know how to see it. I had one other small sign this time in Brazil, which I just wanted to share. It has nothing to do with the teachings now, but I just wanted to share with you. I was making, just bracket, normally I never talk about these things, so now that I started, just to share 1 minute. I was making one stupa in Brazil in last, when it was, April? June? I don't know. Okay, not this time, the time before I went to Brazil. And I think it was June. Anyhow, I was making a stupa. I chose to make one small stupa, 2.5 by 2.5 meters. And we were making the stupa. We did everything very fast. But before building the stupa, I needed to bless the land. So we need to make the request for what's called the landowners, the deities that live in the land in order for you to build. Whenever we build a house, we need to do this. Even more important when we do a temple. So I was doing this temple of the stupa. So I made an X where I calculated where would be the center of the stupa. I placed some crystals, the same type of crystals we have here at the center of the central mandala, of the central channel here of the Gompa. I had the same type of crystals. I had a bag of it. I put in the center. I did a whole ceremony. When I finished it, we were like 5-6 people around. I took the crystals out and I started to dig the earth in order to put the crystals inside. And then when I started digging the earth, I looked, and then I found just in the surface there one small stupa. It was made at first it looked like crystal. Then I was looking, I was saying, no, it cannot be what it looks like. Then I went and finally I took it. It was actually made of some sort of plastic transparent resin. And it was actually a stupa, and it was there. It was completely full of earth. I needed like a few minutes to wash the earth away. It was there for a long time, we could see. And how it came to be there, I have no idea. Nobody could answer. But it really doesn't matter much. The important thing for me is in the moment that it came out. No? So it was a way of a sign of saying, look, you are doing the right thing. So we don't need to mystify much things, but it's important also for us to look at the signs. Because they're just important for us as a way for us to follow the path that we're doing. That's basically. We don't need to give too much importance, otherwise our life becomes a paranoia. Oh, look at this, look at that. Everything becomes a sign of something. It's not that the way. But sometimes it's important just to open our mind a little bit. So for me, the practice of Tara, actually, there is a whole part of understanding, and we are going to go through this explanation, but there is a whole part also of feeling. And the practice of Tara always brought me a lot of good feelings, and it makes my heart full. So it's something that we need to experience. It goes much, much beyond words. Okay? As we go through the sadhana, better we start to see the sadhana, otherwise we'll never end up with. If I start saying many things about Tara, we never really go through the sadhana. And the sadhana is basically divided into 3 parts. We have the first part, that is the preliminary prayers and the Guru Yoga. The second part, which is the frontal generation, where we do accumulation of merits, purification of our negativities, and requesting of the blessings. And then we have the third part, that is the self-generation through the so-called self-healing practice. Okay? Let's say the most important part, if we need to make a difference, is the self-generation with the 4 initiations. But the frontal generation is very important, and the preliminary practices are very, very important, are like the basis. So we start with the preliminary practices, which are like creating the foundations in order to build up the rest of the practice. If we don't have a good preliminary practices, all the rest will not sustain itself. We will not be able to build up much on top of it. So it's very important for us really to do very well the preliminary practices in order for us to build on top of it. I've explained in many other times the preliminary practices quite in details, so we are not going to go into details today and tomorrow on the preliminary practice, okay? But one important point is that Arya Tara, in one way, was a person that reached enlightenment. Is not just an invention of the mind of someone. There was actually someone, Princess Yeshe Dawa, that reached enlightenment. And when someone reached enlightenment, it's said to be that goes beyond death and rebirth, which means has an existence of awareness that is constant. There is no more the sensation of one life or another life. It's a constant awareness of existence between one life and the other. It could be similar to the awareness that we have of today and yesterday, but it's one life and another life. Okay. Similar because it's more clear than the awareness that we have of today and yesterday, I suppose. But when we ask when we ask Aryatara to come to this place, we are not just like making a visualization because it's good for us. We are really requesting Aryatara to come, to bless us. Because Aryatara has the abilities to be here, to bless us, out of compassion, but we need also to remember that when we talk about the compassion, it's not that Aryatara has compassion for some and not compassion for others. It's the same compassion, but we need to create the conditions in order to be able to receive the blessings. Okay. What are blessings? It took me quite some time to have some understanding about what blessings are. It's not something so obvious, no? When we say, oh, give me your blessings, but what do we mean by blessing? And sometimes we may think that to request a blessing is like a permission. Now we go to our parents, oh, could you give me your blessings in order for me to do this or that? It's a sort of a permission. But I don't need to ask the permission for the Buddhas to practice, So why do I need to ask the blessings? Blessings is actually something that goes much beyond. Some years ago, I was in Tibet with the abbot of Tashilompo Kajan Losam Phuntsar Rinpoche, and then he was actually explaining to me that blessing, it means a positive condition that helps us to develop our inner qualities. The blessings can come to us in many different forms. It can come as words, as images, as places, as energy. We can receive blessings in many different ways, but the blessings are something that we receive that touches our heart, that melts our negativity, that helps us to develop our qualities. So it happens to me a few times that I was in a holy place, and then suddenly something that I understood for a long time but I didn't realize suddenly comes about, and it becomes clear. That's a blessing that we receive. Another time, we can be like, this happened to me so many times. I am in front of my guru, and thoughts that, just by talking and just by being there, the thoughts start to become more clear, and the ideas start to go into the right place. And things just flow naturally. And things that maybe were blocked are unblocked. So these are the blessings that we receive. Okay? So, there are different ways of receiving blessings, but blessings are very important because they create the right conditions. It's somehow similar to the influence that we may receive from someone. Like if we are near to someone that is full of anger and negativities, let's say on brackets we receive some sort of blessing, negative way. We are influenced negatively. Somehow we start vibrating, let's say in brackets, on the same frequency that person. On the other side, if I am nearby a person of love and compassion and wisdom and generosity and so on, I receive that also. I am influenced by it, and that's the blessings that I receive also. So, to request the blessings is actually something very important for us, as we don't want our path to be just on a conceptual level. We need also to realize things, I remember when the relics of Buddha were taken to Brazil, we had this experience which was very, very special. There are many stories to tell about it, but one of them is that it was in a cultural area in São Paulo, and there were more than 10,000 people coming every day to see the relics. It was really incredible. And one day, it was in a big room, more or less the size of this gompa, with a throne where the relics were, and many people doing meditation practices all the whole day, of many different traditions in there, and so on. One day I was there, and I just went out to go to the toilet, and on my way out, I met a woman. Actually, there were 3 women, a little older. They're very Brazilian, and they were on the line to see the relics. They were in line already for quite some time. When they saw me dressed in the way I am, they looked at me and they said, "Oh, do you know what is this line for?" They were already for some time in the line, I suppose. So I looked and I said, yes, these are the lines to go to the relics of Buddha. We don't believe in these things. Anyhow, we stayed. Well, they had nothing much to do, so they stayed in the line. After like maybe 1 hour or something like this, when I came back, I went to the toilet, I went to drink something, have some talk, and I came back. And when I came back, it was exactly the time that they were about to see the relics. So I was just there looking. I was a bit curious to see what would be their reaction. No? And the relics would put in a throne, similar to Rinpoche's throne, and everyone would come, 3 people at a time, because there was not enough time for everyone to go one by one. Just go nearby, look at the relics, and then after who wanted could put their head in the throne to receive the blessings, to request for a blessing. So this woman, they went there, and when this lady looked at the relics and got near to it, she started to cry and cry, like deep cry. Then she looked at me that I was nearby together with Rinpoche, and she came to thank me. Say, oh, this is something so important for me, so great. I'm so grateful. It was a cry not of sadness, but of relief. You know? Like if something that was a knot, strong knot that was there for a long time suddenly gets loosened. You know? Something that melts. So, blockages that go away. These are blessings that we receive. There are many ways of receiving blessings. So we request the blessings because we want to transform our mind in a deeper level, not only in a conceptual way. This is one of the reasons. Okay? Sure. Mm-hmm. When you ask for blessings, exactly what you are doing, you're opening yourself to the energy, in this case of Aryatara. We open ourselves. We take away somehow our blockages in a way. No? So we open ourselves for it. Okay. So, as we do the practice, we start with the preliminary practices in page number 14. And as we go through it, we will find in page 14 the first part, which is actually taking refuge and generating chitta. But there is another part which is before this, and is not here written, but is important, which is the preparation of the place where we are, the preparation of our body, and the preparation of our mind. The preparation of the place means we clean the place where we will meditate, we make the altar, the offerings, we light an incense, a candle, something like this. This is something that we can do. And I'm not going to details on that right now. And then we'll do 3 prostrations, and then we sit down. The place where we sit is important, that it's comfortable. It's good if we have a cushion that is a little bit higher, so our knees are lower. If we don't feel comfortable sitting cross-legged, we can also sit in a chair. But once we sit, then we need to prepare the body. To prepare the body, we need to sit in the right position. Why? Because our mind and body are connected. If we have the right position for meditation, it will help us to have the right mental attitude during our meditation. So the right position is called the 7 or 8 postures of Vairochana, which are, we said 7 or 8 because the last one sometimes is counted, sometimes it's not counted, okay? But let's say the 8 postures of Vairochana. We have the legs, that should be crossed legs. And the complete correct position is sitting with our crossed legs. It's called a complete Vajra position, with the 2 foot on top of our thighs. Okay. If this is too difficult for someone, you can also sit in the half lotus or half Vajra position with one of the foot below. Okay. This is how I prefer to sit when I need to sit for a long time. And or if this is also too difficult, we can sit with both, like below like this, whatever is comfortable for us. And after that, we have also, the most important part is that our back should be straight, but not tense, but we should have a straight back, but shouldn't be tense. Our shoulders relaxed, the right hand on top of the left hand. with the thumbs at the height of our navel. The arms should be open, not touching the body, but creating like two triangles. Okay. If it's too difficult, depending on the way how we put our legs, we may need to put some cloth or something on our lap in order to place our hands nicely. Otherwise, we need to keep it up, and then we create a whole tension in our arm, okay? And it needs to be relaxed. So, then we have the shoulders relaxed, the head slightly looking downwards, the mouth relaxed with the tongue that touches the palate. It's important for us to relax the body and not to need to swallow the saliva. The eyes slightly closed, looking downwards, and the awareness of our breath. We try to breathe, bringing the air below our navel. So we have 1 leg, 2 back, 3 shoulders, 4 arms, 5 head, 6 mouth, 8 eyes, 7 eyes, 8 awareness of our breath. So this is the right position for our meditation. So once we have sat in this position, we will after that do actually the preparation of our mind. We need to bring our mind to a neutral state. So what we will do is we will observe our own breath and we'll start counting it. Any other thought that may come, we will let it go away as we inhale and exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. And like this we'll go on up to 7. When we reach 7, if we see that our mind is calm and neutral, is not driven by jealousy or anger or envy or attachment and so on, then we move to the visualization of taking refuge. Otherwise, we can repeat the cycle of 7 up to 14, 21, and like this we can go on. If we see that it's too difficult, our mind is never calm, then at a certain point we can actually already go to the practice. But it takes time in order for us to be able to bring our mind to a neutral state quickly. And after some time of practice, actually, then we can just, breathe in, breathe out 2-3 times, and our mind is already in a neutral state. It's important to do this because the first part of the practice, which is called taking refuge, is the moment where we will generate our motivation. And it's not possible to generate a positive emotion based on a negative emotion. From a negative emotion such as anger, jealousy, pride, mindfulness, and so on, we must first go through a neutral state before we generate a positive emotion. So because of that, first we relax and we bring our mind to a neutral state, and then from that we generate the motivation. Okay? So, once we have brought our mind to a state of calm and balance, then we start with the actual practice by taking refuge and generating the bodhicitta. Tomorrow morning we are going to do these visualizations very slowly and with detail and so on. So I'm not going to go into details right now about it. But what we will do basically is that when we do the first part, Namo Guru Bhye, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, and the third time we recite, we do Namo Triratnaya, we generate this strong intention to be free from suffering. You say, I don't want anymore to live with anger, with jealousy, with pride. One day I am good, the other day I am bad. I am live in this emotional roller coaster, you know. One day go up and then looks everything nice, and suddenly go down, and then there is this and that. Too much. When go down, I think I will always go down. When go up, I hope it will be always going up, you know. And then suddenly there is this moment where it's stable. Then when it's stable, then suddenly go down again. So I don't want any more of that. I cannot deal anymore with this. I want to live in a peaceful way. I want to be happy. So please, Guru Buddha, help me. Only by myself I cannot do it. I want to abandon everything that is harmful to myself. I want to accomplish everything that is positive to myself. So I take refuge in the Buddha. Please show me the path. I take refuge in the Dharma, the path that I need to follow. I take refuge in the Sangha, the spiritual community that will help me during this path. I take refuge in the Guru, the embodiment of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So as we take refuge, we visualize from the 5 chakras of Guru Buddha, light and nectar that absorb into our 5 chakras. Okay? So this is what we do when we take refuge. After that, we go to the generation of the bodhicitta. And in very few words, what we will do at that moment is we visualize all sentient beings around us and we generate the strong intention to help them. We open our heart towards others and we generate the deep and strong intention to help each and every one of them. And as we generate this strong intention, we understand that the only way how we can help other sentient beings is first of all developing our own qualities. So, I imagine that Guru Buddha comes towards me, an emanation, enters through my crown chakra, sits in my heart. Myself and Guru Buddha will become inseparable, of the same nature. Then from my heart, light, nectar, and emanations of Buddha emanates, going to the 10 directions, purifying the negativity of every sentient being, bringing them to the state of bliss, of joy, of peace, and then the emanations come back and reabsorb into my heart. As I visualize this and I generate the intention of really developing my qualities for the benefit of others, of really opening my heart to other sentient beings, as I do this, I recite the prayer Sangye Chodon Sogye Chonamla at page 14, and then I recite also the 7 limitless meditations on page 16 and 17. Okay? So this is very briefly what we do at this part of the practice. Once we have finished the generation of bodhicitta with the emanation of light and nectar from our heart, going to all sentient beings and coming back, before we do the transformation of the place, the purification of the place, there is one part of visualization that is not written in the text, and but it's very important. Actually, in the Guru Puja, it is written. But our lineage also, sometimes that things are not explicitly written, because our lineage also is the whispered lineage, of oral transmission. It's important also to receive the explanations verbally and orally, not only written. Okay? So here, in between page 17 and 18, there is something in between there. Okay? So what is in between is that we visualize that Guru Buddha in front of us dissolves into a golden light that comes to our direction, enters through our forehead, fills completely our central channel. From our central channel, the light expands to the whole universe. As we do this, we imagine, I must reach enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. And for that reason, I will now do the practice of the Guru Yoga of Tara Chittamani. I will now do the practice of self-healing, whatever practice we will do. In this context, we will do the practice of Tara Chittamani. So the light comes, enters through our forehead, fills our central channel, expands from our central channel to our body, from our body to the whole universe. Everything dissolves into light. At this moment, there is nothing more than an infinite emptiness full of light, empty of inherent existence, interdependent, inseparable of great bliss, inseparable of a profound joy. Wherever there is emptiness, there is bliss. Wherever there is bliss, there is emptiness. And I myself, my identity, I am the union of great bliss and emptiness, the non-dual union of great bliss and emptiness. So as I visualize this, I experience this emptiness within which there is no me or you, here or there, this or that, big or small. There is only an infinite emptiness full of light, empty of inherent existence, inseparable of great bliss, and I am such non-dual unity of great bliss and emptiness. So we stay in this state. This is one of the deepest meditations that we can actually do, but we do it according to our own level of understanding, and we do it for the time that we can be there. We relax deeply in that state. And then from this union of great bliss and emptiness, without losing it, once again the universe appears. As the universe appears, we appear in a lotus flower with a sun and a moon cushion with a pure body. Okay? We have a pure body, we can visualize ourselves as Arya Tara or just as a body of light. And then from our heart, this we do just in an instant. We are not really concentrating much in which form we appear in this moment of the practice. We appear with a pure body. From our heart, light emanates, going to all the directions and purifying completely the environment around us, making it a pure and beautiful environment. And at this moment we do the prayer Tamche Duni Sashita Semala Somepada Lagdi Tanyam Bendore Ranshi Jampone Gyurchik, as is in page number 18. After that, we visualize in front of us an ocean of offerings that is transformed and purified. Tomorrow we will do the detailed visualization on this, so I'm not going to go into details on that right now. And then we do the mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate, expressing the power of the truth, Kunjo Sumgidem Padam. And through this we purify and transform the offerings. After that, we request the blessings of the lineage. There is a long prayer of the lineage requests of Tara Chittamani, where we say the name of every master that has been there up to Tabu Dorje Chan, and which is the near lineage. But here we do the essence of it as we recite first Buddha Shakyamuni, which is the original faraway lineage where the teachings are coming from. Then after that we do the prayers of Kyabche Trichan Dorje Chan, that is the root guru of Lama Ganche Rinpoche. And then we do the prayers of Lama Ganche Rinpoche, our own root guru. And with this we visualize that Buddha Shakyamuni absorbs into Trichan Rinpoche absorbs into Lama Ganchen, and as we finish this prayer, then we do Pakyukye Kudan Dagilu, Pakyukye Sundan Dagengai, and so on. We visualize that Guru Buddha, in this case Lama Ganchen, that is inseparable of all the gurus of the lineage, come towards us and absorbs into us. Okay? Bless. Page number 24. Blessing our body, speech, and mind. Okay? Anyhow, up to this part is let's say it's more like the common part of the practice. We will do this prayer, we will do this many times, as we do the Guru Yoga of Lama Tsongkhapa, as we do the Guru Puja. Tomorrow we will do the Guru Puja with all the visualizations, and all these visualizations are in there. Okay? After this, we go to the part which is more specific of Tara Chittamani, which is the Guru Yoga of Tara Chittamani. Okay? Which we will not go into details right now. So, as you just, without going into details of the Guru Yoga of Tara Chittamani, which I advise you just to read it slowly tonight, in page number 27, what happened is that the Guru Yoga is the practice in which we create and we establish and we fortify the connection with the Guru and with the holy beings. Because somehow, it's like if we make an example, let's think about internet. Let's say we have a very powerful computer, we know very well at which website we want to go, to watch what we want to watch, to read what we want to read, whatever. But the internet connection is not good. We cannot do much. In the moment we have a very strong connection, still we need a good computer, and still we need to know where we want to go. Otherwise, it's like having the best computer and a very good internet connection and not knowing what to write inside Google, You are there, where I go, what I look, I don't know. Instead, once we have clarity of where we want to go, what we want, but we still need a connection. So the relationship with our Guru is the actual connection between us and the Dharma, between us and the teachings, us and the blessings, the lineage, so on, the holy beings. For different reasons. One is because for us it's too far away to connect with the Buddha somehow abstract somewhere. So we have our own Guru, someone that we can see, we can touch, we can feel. That is an example for us. And when we talk here about the Guru, it's not necessarily one person. The Guru is the embodiment of all our Gurus, is our guide to enlightenment. And we can have more than one guru that is represented here. It's not like only one. So we do not visualize many. It's one that is the embodiment of all. It's our own connection to the holy being. It's our connection to what is sacred. It's our connection to enlightenment. So, by the practice of Guru Yoga, what we're doing is that we make this connection stronger and stronger. And by making our connection with our Guru stronger, we make the connection with Aryatara stronger, because he's the connection to it. Okay? So this first part of the practice of the Guru Yoga is very, very important, very powerful. Normally when we take initiation of Tara Chittamani, the commitment of practice is to do the Guru Yoga of Tara Chittamani every day. It's not the whole sadhana, but it's the commitment of the Guru Yoga of Tara Chittamani. So I advise everyone to read it. Tomorrow we will do at every session, in the beginning of every session, we will do the Guru Yoga of Tara Chittamani, as we did this session. Okay? As is one of the most important parts of the practice. And then after, maybe later or tomorrow, we will go through the detailed explanation of the Guru Yoga, and then we have the frontal generation, and then I want to give more emphasis to the self-generation as Aryatara. Okay. Jetsun lame kotse rapten chi namkar chinle chochur gepa dang losan tempe dreme sasumgi drove munsel tato ne gyurchi nimo dele tsendele nime kuyan delek shing Ninsen takto delek pe koncho sumge jingi lop koncho sumge ngodrup tsol koncho sumge trashisho. At dawn or dusk, at night or midday, may the three jewels grant us their blessings. May they help us to achieve all realizations and sprinkle the path of our lives with various signs of auspiciousness. Trascidile.